It's PFT OT, a Thursday edition. Chris Sims back from assignment in Buffalo. We've got some things we want to get to that we didn't talk about during the show today, but also I want to expand on a couple of things, and I want to start with what we were discussing as the show ended, the decision that Christopher Johnson, the chairman and CEO of the Jets, needs to make about the next GM of the team. Do you get the best person for the job, even if you know or should know that person is going to want to hire his own coach? Or do you find the best person to work with, Adam Gase? And it leads to the broader question, because I'm not sure Christopher Johnson understands how this all works. I don't think he understood that Gase would maybe not be, compliant with Mike Maccagnan as GM, and maybe there'd be a personality conflict, and maybe they should have just fired Maccagnan from the get-go. I wonder if Christopher Johnson realizes that dynamic where if you hire a GM, whatever that GM says, oh, I'm fine with Adam Gase. Oh, I love Adam Gase. Yes, I know Adam Gase. Deep down, that GM is just going to bide his time until he has a chance to fire Adam Gase. I wonder if Christopher Johnson understands that dynamic.
Well, it's a good question because, one, you're right. Usually with GMs, they have their own agenda or own list of guys that they would like to coach their football teams when they are the GM. Two, I think people would be surprised about how many owners know so little about little things like that, like you're talking about. Again, these are owners who have made, successful careers and things outside of football. So they don't always know the dynamics and little things like that go into hiring and firing GMs and coaches and all of that. But that is the big question with the New York Jets. And again, I'll say, like I said at the end of the show, I think of it in New York Jets. Of course, you'd like to have a little bit of both here, but ultimately, I think you got to edge on the guy that is the best for your organization going forward and not necessarily the best just to work with Adam Gase. Adam Gase, as much as I know I believe in Adam Gase and think he got a little bit of a raw deal down there in Miami, and I'm pretty sure you feel the same way, and I like the hiring by the New York Jets. With all that said, he's still a little bit of an unproven commodity at this point to where I'm not just letting him go, oh, you're the head coach and you can get the GM you want here because it's going to work well with you. I'd have to worry about if it doesn't work with Adam Gase, there's stuff further along in the future that I got to worry about. And that's where I think they got to side ultimately.
Yeah, but job number one for me is ensuring the elimination of dysfunction. And so what you do is you hire a GM who is aligned with Gase, and you make it clear to both guys, look, you're in this together, and you're either going to fail together or you're going to succeed together. And it's on you to get it done. This is what you wanted. This is what you got. Now you got to go thrive, or we're going to get rid of everybody and we're going to start over again. That needs to be the arrangement all the time. You can't. And Woody Johnson hasn't done this the right way. He'd fire the GM, keep the head coach, bring in a GM who maybe didn't want the head coach. They had the John Idzik and Rex Ryan forced marriage. It's not that difficult to figure out. But you touched on something very important, Chris. Owners really don't know.
Right.
They act like they do. They don't. And how do they figure anything out? It's not like you're going to call up one of your competitors and say, I really don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Can you help me? And is anybody, first of all, the ego prevents you from doing that. But second of all, what do you think the guy on the other side of the phone is going to do, especially if it's somebody that you compete with on a regular basis? They're not going to tell you how to do it. That's for you to figure out. That's why guys get paid to consult. That's why you end up having, and typically the organizations have this, there's that one person who isn't in football, right?
Right.
But he's kind of in business, but it's team president. It's Neil Glatt in New York. There's always that one person who can kind of take credit when things go well, but when things go poorly, oh, hey, I'm not in the football operation.
Yeah.
And that's usually the person the owner relies upon when the owner doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Or they rely on people that they've heard, through the rumorville that this guy knows a lot about the sport, or it's a has-been GM who's been out of the league and out of touch with the league for a number of years, and then all of a sudden they go, well, he was successful 12 or 15 years ago. Let me ask him who he thinks is going to be a successful head coach now and get his input. And I want to go, gosh, that's not the good thing either. We've seen mistakes along those lines, asking the out-of-touch GM. It happened with the Jets, I think, and Charlie Casserly and Mike Maccagnan is a perfect example. So, yes, the owners, even though they have a lot of money, they don't know everything in the world, and a lot of the times they don't have the right people directing them the right way as far as football decisions.
That's what I love about this sport. All the money and time and expertise that's invested from the general manager down in putting together a football operation ultimately presided over by somebody who doesn't know what the hell they are doing. There's a parallel I could make right now, but I shall not. I will move on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.